Good evening, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we are live from Studio Vanguard, and we are linked in with the following repeaters.
Flagship, Watkinsville, Rome, Toccoa, Noonan, Jersey, Columbus, McDonough, Zebulon, Peachtree, Ocala, Salicoa Ridge, Dallas, White Oak Mountain, Fort Mountain, Lookout Mountain, Cades Cove, Mount Roosevelt, Chattanooga, Ottawa, Georgetown, and of course our VoIP service, Zello.
Tonight our RF coverage is over 176.5 billion square yards. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m., and I would like to thank everyone who has made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
And this is WQYR 514, Atlanta 947. My name's Julie.
This is WQYR 514, Atlanta 946. My name is Justin.
And Atlanta 750, WRMR 367. My name is Jeff.
On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything else you think we'd like to hear. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are also welcome from anyone with a valid FCC call sign. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you signed in and signed out of the net. Also, you can tune into the YouTube channel and follow along, or even better, tune in after the net to watch your appearance on the network and hear how you sound to us right here in Studio Vanguard. Be sure to like and subscribe to the live stream and leave a comment so that we know you're watching. These interactions mean the most to help our new YouTube channel grow. All right, what is our topic for tonight?
Well, I think tonight we're going to talk about reflecting on 2024 and looking forward to what's to come in 2025.
24 was a big year, a busy year.
A big year and a busy year, yeah. We thought we were going to ease into it with not much to do, and
we should have known better.
I heard we weren't getting any new repeaters, but we got a few, didn't we?
We got at least one,
yeah.
And we had so many projects. There's too many to mention.
Too many.
And some of them we can't mention because they're still in a state of development.
They're not done yet.
Yeah,
That's right.
All right, so looking back on 24, looking ahead to 2025. All right. Let me check my script here. Quick reminder, there is no net next week. We're going to be at home spending the holidays, Christmas break with our families. We hope you are too. Hope you have a good holiday break with your friends and family. Don't forget, check out hobbitcommunications.com for Christmas gifts for your friends and family. Also, quick reminder, don't forget that memberships and renewals made right now are good for the remainder of this year and all of 2025. Justin, there's a note here that says...
So it's like 54 weeks for the price of 52.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's perfect.
It's a good value. Let me break.
Yeah.
You want me to hit shrimp?
No.
Okay. All right. With that, let's find out what's going on with our in and around our network, and let's check in with Kate.
This is WRMR 367, Atlanta 751. Kate from high atop Mount Waleski, live in Studio C with this week's Catch Up with Kate. Peachtree Corners Brunch Bunch will be meeting December 21st at JR's Log House Restaurant, located at 6601 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. We plan to arrive around noon. Breakfast is served until 2 on Saturdays. So check out the menu online at www.jrsloghouse.com. So let's laugh, make new friends, and enjoy the casual, rustic atmosphere. But wait, there's more. There will be some surprises in store for everyone who comes, including your +1 or more. So bring your smiling faces, looking forward to seeing you. The Kennesaw Gathering will be meeting next for lunch on January 14th at noon, and they will continue to gather on the second Tuesday of each month at Old Town Tavern Grill. That is located at 2500 Cobb Parkway Northwest, around the block from McCollum Airport. Please reach out to Ed, Atlanta 557 on the air, or via email at wrqg806@gmail.com if you are planning to attend, so we can ensure we have seats for all. And January 29th will be the date for the Northeast Bunch at Roosters in Dahlonega. Let me break. The Ladies' Net, this New Year's Net, will be held on January 6th in 2025, as crazy as that sounds. Check-ins start at 7:30 p.m., and the topic will be New Year's resolutions. On Tuesdays, our northern region of the network features our Skywarn Net. This is a training net for Skywarn spotters and is available only on the northern portion of the North Georgia GMRS network. Wednesdays feature a short ERC net at 8 p.m. This is a roll call net, and it is closed to North Georgia GMRS members. This net is for ERC members only. So during this time, please refrain from checking into this net unless you are an ERC member. There's also a net on Thursday nights. Excuse me, Theodore. Let me break. There's also a net on Thursday nights. These knuckleheads will talk about anything and say nothing for hours at a time. But as Michael already informed us, there will be no Thursday night net next week. So stay tuned for 2025 for when the next regional net kicks off. The Friday Night at 9 Simplex Challenge is held every Friday night, starting at 8 p.m. on the Monument Repeater. Join your hosts Dana, Atlanta 250, and Jonathan, Gainesville 58, and test your radio's reach in the world of Simplex. We hope to hear you there, and together we will practice the plan. The Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club continues to offer free classes and workshops on a variety of topics. Check out their website at w4am.net for a new list of classes and workshops coming out soon. And let's see, I'm going to break before we get into upcoming events. Let me break. Mark your calendars because TechFest is being held on January 11th, 2025. The GARS TechFest is a free annual event specifically geared towards amateur radio enthusiasts. This event provides an excellent opportunity for individuals to learn about the latest developments in amateur radio technology, share knowledge and experience, and network with other amateur radio operators. Attendees can expect to see demonstrations of various types of equipment and attend presentations and workshops on a variety of topics. This event is great for anyone who's interested in amateur radio, whether you're a seasoned operator or you're just getting your feet wet. Attending the GARS Tech Fest is an excellent way to learn more about the hobby, make new contacts, and discover new ways to use amateur radio technology. So if you're passionate about amateur radio and want to stay up to date on the latest advancements, then attending the GARS Tech Fest on Saturday, January 11th. Let's see. It is open to the public starting at 8:30 a.m. till about 3:15 in the afternoon. If you're looking to get your ham exam on, those will be held between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Forums can be found between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Lunch is 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. And a final prize drawing will be held at 3:15. So you might want to stick around if you're down for the final prize. You could be a lucky winner. Let me break. And the 43rd Annual Dalton Hamfest is coming February 22nd. The hours will be 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's only $5 to get yourself in. And this will be held at the North Georgia AG Fairgrounds, 500 Legion Drive in Dalton, Georgia. That's it. And this is the final Thursday evening net of 2024. We have some changes in format coming for next year, so be sure and tune in on January 2nd. All of us here at North Georgia GMRS Regional Net wish you all a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. If you have any questions, comments, or delicious news to share, please send an email to justin@nggmrs.org. We are North Georgia GMRS Network. This is WRMR 367, Atlanta 751. My name is Kate, and now back to Net Control.
All right. Thanks very much, Kate. There's always a lot going on in various areas of the network, and appreciate those updates. Let's go ahead and go to Julie for Julie's New User Tips segment. Julie?
Thank you for that, Mike. This is WQYR 514, Atlanta 947. My name is Julie with this week's New User Tips and Operating Procedure segment. This week, though, we're going to do a little thing differently. We're going to reflect on 2024 and look ahead to 2025. 2024 was a phenomenal year. North Georgia GMRS has enjoyed explosive growth, and we've gained so many amazing new members. Did you know that we started 2024 with 662 members, and we've nearly doubled that number with 1,210 members as of this week? That's over 540 new members. We're excited to share this network with so many new friends, and it's encouraging to see so much support from the radio community. Speaking of new friendships and support from the radio community, we now have 6 active meet and greet luncheons that meet monthly throughout the area. We have the Northeast Lunch Bunch in Dahlonega that meet at Rooster's Restaurant. We have the Rabbit Hole Lunch Bunch that meet at Taco Mac in Marietta. We have the Chattanooga Radio Luncheon that meet at Champy's in Chattanooga. We have the Kennesaw Gathering at the Old Town Tavern and Grill in Kennesaw. We have the Peachtree Corners Brunch Bunch at JR's Log House Restaurant in Peachtree Corners. And there's also a breakfast gathering in Stockbridge. This is all thanks to members like you with a desire to put a face to the voice and foster deeper, meaningful relationships with one another. Let me break. Some other highlights we'll proudly look back on is the highly attended Smith Family Barbecue held at LL Farm event in Hall County, Georgia, with 300 members in attendance. A huge success and fun had by all. Thank you to the Smith family for hosting this event. We came into 2024 with 6 nets for our members to engage in. We had the weekly regional net that meet every Thursday evenings, the Friday nights at 9 Simplex Challenge net that meet every Friday evening beginning at 8 p.m., the Skywarn net exclusive to the Tennessee area that meets every other Tuesday at 7 p.m., the Rabbit Hole net that meet every other Sunday evening at 7:30, the Kids net that meets the second Saturday of every month. Oh, and we can't forget to mention the most precious net of all, the Santa net. We had 10 check-ins, including Santa, this year. Hearing our littles talk to Santa has got to be by far my most favorite. But this year, a new net joined the ranks. On June 3rd, the Little Miss Radio Net, hosted by Atlanta 255 Jennifer, came on the air for ladies only. This net broadcasts the first Monday of every month. This brings us to 7 different programs for our members and their families to engage in. When we say we're a family-friendly network, we mean it. And we literally have something for the whole family to enjoy. Another highlight for the year we would like to point out is that on August 1st, the Peachtree DeKalb repeater came online, making this the 22nd repeater to be linked to our system. We also had 7 people sign up as lifetime members this year. North Georgia GMRS participated in 2 Hamfests, the Dalton Hamfest and the Stone Mountain Hamfest, with lots of volunteers from our membership giving their time and talents to make it the success it was. After all this reflection, it appears we're going to keep right on playing radio next year. We look forward to all 2025 has to offer. We'll soon see how many of our old friends choose to renew for 2025 and how many new friends will come on board. This is one of the tools we measure our performance by. But whatever the numbers are, we'll keep working to bring the best content possible and maintain and build the best GMRS network we know how. That's the best part of 2025. We don't have a roadmap of new sites or master strategy plan to grow our membership and or our YouTube channel, but we all have a deep desire to serve this GMRS community the best we can. Let me break. We'll keep our eyes open for opportunities to continue to improve the network as well as our programs. One of the ways we do that is by listening to you, our members. Be sure to send us your ideas, suggestions, and new user tips to julie@NGGMRS.org. We'll hope you'll join us next year on the North Georgia GMRS Network. We plan to bring a series of tech topics to start off the new year right. We are North Georgia GMRS Network, and this is WQIR 514 Atlanta 947. My name is Julie. Back to Net Control.
All right. Thank you very much, Julie. It has been a busy year indeed. A lot to look back on, a lot of activity, a lot of gatherings, people getting together face-to-face, spending time together in person.
Absolutely.
And earning free salads. Earning their salad.
That's right. You know all about that, don't you, Mike?
I've got another one to earn. I've got one more to go.
Well, you know, they're taking tests at Tech Fest.
Oh, at Tech Fest.
You can upgrade there, but I don't
know that I will.
I don't think they offer a salad.
That's why. Yeah. I saw your post on the Facebook group today about the Dalton Ham Fest, and that got my attention. I've got a little bit more time to study for the extra.
There you go.
No, that's the right amount of time too. You know, when you think about it, it's about what 8 weeks away.
Yeah.
So you know, and particularly if you had an accountability person that you could study with, that's what we did, and it was very successful for us. So there were 6 of us that tested, and there were 6 of us that passed and got our extra.
Maybe so Atlanta 810 is he ordered the book the study book at the same time I did.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a hold of John.
So you need to meet at some place together at least once a week, and you need to break that up into chunks to do each week, and you meet and you talk about what you've learned and you review the material together, and maybe have a bite to eat while you're doing it.
Yeah.
And quiz each other, yes.
But those two will probably just meet at a coffee shop.
And that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's because there'll be internet there, and you'll be able to have resources.
Caffeine.
So that's really a good place to meet. So I highly recommend doing that. And if you can find another person or 2 more people to join you on that adventure, that would be even better.
I think we need to get Atlanta 256 in on this too. He's been endeavoring more on the HF side. I don't think it'd take much to twist Chuck's arm to get him in there too.
There you go.
Chuck, we're coming for you, buddy.
It's a bigger investment in time than anything else. And so if you can invest that time, then you can achieve it. The money is insignificant. It's just a few bucks.
Yeah.
$15 probably at Dalton. I'm not entirely sure.
I think that's right. Yeah.
But it certainly wouldn't be any more than that. So I mean, you're going to have $5 in getting in the gate and another $15. So for $20 all in, take a few extra dollars so that you can spend some money on the grounds while you're there. Maybe more than a few.
Let's break. Right at the buzzer.
But I wanted to get the Dalton Ham Fest kind of out there and have some awareness that that's coming up.
Yeah, right around the corner. Got to start studying now. All right, thank you, Julie. What a busy year it's been.
Yes, it has. A lot of fun.
Should we take some more check-ins?
I think that would be good.
Yeah, let's see if we have anybody else that wants to get involved here. We've got a good roster going so far, but I think there might be 2 or 3 other people out there that would like to be involved tonight.
Well, very good. Well, let's start with Zello. We got a Zello check-in earlier, but it seems like things are working. But let's go ahead and start with Zello users. RF users, hold your traffic. If you'd like to check in tonight and you're using Zello on your phone, please call Net Control now.
All right. Good night,
Thank you,
guys.
Julie.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The chairs keep switching, but usually I have the labels correct.
Okay.
But we can put it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if that makes it easier for you.
No, the layout is logical.
8 is the hyperdeck, but we don't need that until the end.
Okay. All right. No check-ins? Where's our Zello people at?
We got plenty of YouTube people.
Yeah. I guess all of our Zello folks have gone to YouTube. Is that what's going on?
That might be it.
I think that might be it.
WRYQ. Let me get this last one in and all. WRYQ.
Do you need me to buy you some time?
727. You go ahead. You can acknowledge these. Miko from upstate New York.
All right. A long and uncomfortable pause waiting for Zello check-ins and not hearing any. So with that, we're going to go ahead and acknowledge our YouTube check-ins. And these are all going to be in and out because by nature of YouTube, it's kind of hard for YouTube users to engage the PTT. So let's go ahead and crunch through this YouTube roster that we have so far. We have Blue Ridge 64, Side Salad. Now, is Side Salad with 1 S?
Yes.
I'm not sure how that works, but Side Salad with 1 S, Melissa in Blue Ridge. We also have Atlanta 355 Damon in Canton. We have a guest check-in from WSFL 328 Dale, checking in from Imlay City, Michigan. We have Atlanta 927 Connie in Beaufort is in and out. We have Rome 12 Mark checking in and out from Rome. We have a guest check-in from WSGA 527 Lou in, is that Cornelia, Georgia?
Yes.
All right. With this strike-through, it's kind of hard to read some of the cities. We have Atlanta 364 Bruce in Waleska. We have Dallas 64 Josh in Dallas. We have a guest check-in from WRKV 579 Ed in, is it Leander, Texas?
That's right.
And we have Atlanta 1150 Tony in Canton. We have WRYQ 727 Miko in upstate New York. And we have KE2. Well, the KE, that's a ham call?
I think it's a ham call.
That's a ham call. All right, Ron. Hopefully you've got a GMRS. I mean, there's no foul because he's not on the air with his ham call. But
maybe he just likes hanging out with us.
We do that all the time, though. How many times have you come on the ham bands with your GMRS call, or vice versa? Because I know I've done it.
A couple.
Yeah. So that's just a thing that we all do. So Ron, we've got you on the log with your ham call. Hopefully you've got a GMRS call, but I guess it doesn't really matter from the YouTube side of things. But we're glad to have you along. We have WSFT 747 Nicholas is a guest. We don't know where he's at. He's out there somewhere though. Those are the YouTube check-ins we have at this time. We'll continue with check-ins from any repeater other than flagship. Users on the flagship repeater, please hold your traffic. Anybody else? Now's your time to shine.
Net Control.
And a double.
Net Control, this is WSES 959, Toccoa 55, Jimmy in Cashiers, North Carolina. I'll be in and out monitoring tonight.
Net Control. Net Control, checking WRTF 314, Toccoa 33. South Carolina. Over by Table Rock State Park. Good evening, gentlemen, and no traffic tonight. We monitor now.
This is CW3WSAS 317. This is Jeff out of Jefferson, Georgia, checking in and monitoring. This is FQ Chattanooga 184, coming to you off the Fort Mountain repeater, downtown Dalton, Georgia. This is WRUK 799, Atlanta 707. Tom from Monroe, Georgia, checking in from the Jersey repeater. This is
McDonough 22.
WRCR 952, McDonough 22, from Stockbridge, Georgia, on the McDonough repeater.
Ron came back with his GMRS call.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
WSFC521. Thanks, Ron. Totally get it to have it.
We've all been there.
Atlanta 104, WSAM 623. Brian out of Social Circle on the Jersey repeater. Net control. This is COA 61 WSEY 792. I'll be in and out and monitoring.
All right, let's go ahead and acknowledge this round of check-ins. We heard Toccoa 55, Jimmy in Cashiers, in and out. We heard Toccoa 33, Matthew in Pickens. There was a double in there, and I'm not entirely sure of what all I heard, but did he say he was at a state park?
I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch that?
Maybe I was hearing the other double.
Hard to say, but we've got you in and out, Matthew. We also have CW3, which might have been part of the double. You guys did a great job of separating yourselves from that double. So I think it was the CW and the Toccoa check-in kind of on top of each other. But CW came back again and gave us the CW3. Jeff in Jefferson is in with us tonight. We've got Chattanooga 184 Colt in Dalton. We've got you in for the log for tonight. Atlanta 707 Tom in Monroe is in tonight, and McDonough 22. He's got the coolest FCC call sign. He's got that W Richard Childress Racing. Yes, that's what I hear every time he calls that. That's what I hear. Richard Childress Racing 952.
Yep.
McDonough 22 Tim in Stockbridge. We've got you in tonight. Atlanta 766 Jeff in Monroe as a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 104. Yeah, that's 104. Brian in Social Circle. We've got you in tonight. Toccoa 61 Matthew in Westminster is in and out. And we have McDonough 64 Kathy in Jackson as a YouTube check-in. Those are the check-ins we have this evening. You know, one of these days, that reference to Richard Childress Racing, Tim does have some very interesting NASCAR history and stories to tell. So, yeah, he was an infield reporter.
No kidding.
Covering NASCAR for I can't remember what organization it was, but one of these days we'll have to get the story from Tim out of Stockbridge.
Yeah, we will.
And his NASCAR connections there. I once pulled back in my truck driving days. I once pulled the race transporter for Dave Marcus Racing.
Wow.
Number 71. I was with Dave Marcus for about 3 weeks. His driver scattered the transmission in their truck coming down a hill, and so they were out of a truck and they were out of a driver. Coincidentally, I don't know how that happened at the same time, but it did. And my boss at the time happened to be having conversations with Dave Marcus, and they were talking about all kinds of things, and it was a kind of, oh, hey, by the way, do you think you could loan me a driver? And so...
You probably have better luck coming up with a transmission than a whole driver.
Well, we made it happen, and I was able to pull that transporter for Marcus for about 3 weeks, and it was a wonderful experience. They offered me a job.
Wow.
They just forgot to offer any money.
Oh, yeah. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. and so it was Dave Marcus. It wasn't, Dale Earnhardt, or one of the premium teams. But it was. I tell you, it was a great 3 weeks. It was a wonderful experience. I've got some fantastic stories. Dave Marcus had a Class A CDL, and when we were at Texas Motor Speedway, he wanted to team drive back to the race shop after not making qualification at Texas, so that we could get back there quickly and get the cars unloaded and reloaded for testing at Talladega.
Oh, Talladega is one of my favorite tracks.
And that trip from Texas to North Carolina has some pretty cool stories. So
I bet it does.
But yeah, NASCAR was a lot of fun back then. Time to break, Jeff says. So let's do that. All right, I think we have another round of check-ins to take, don't we? Did we ever get to Flagship?
I don't think we got to Flagship. I think that was everybody but Flagship.
I think so. Here's the time where the doubles and triples and quadruples come in. So slow down just a little bit, because slow is fast when it comes to checking in to the North Georgia GMRS regional net, particularly if I'm taking check-ins. Now, fortunately, Mike is over here doing double, triple, quadruple duty, and I don't know how he does it, but he's been keeping up with check-ins, with YouTube, with all this stuff, and I'm just sitting here, I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll continue on with check-ins from any repeater anywhere. Remember to come on and say this is, and listen to be sure the airwaves are clear. If they are, continue with your check-in. If they are not, please hold your traffic and try it again. Net control, standing by.
This is WSFT 648, Chat 248, Matt in Old Fort, Tennessee, on the lookout repeater. Check me in and out.
This is WRZG 694, Atlanta 785, checking in and out. Rick and Southbound.
Net control, this is WRYZ 968, Gainesville 100, Randall and Buford. Check me in, check me out.
This is WSCT 898, Atlanta 1148, Marvin and Covington. Check me in, check me out. I'll be monitoring the net tonight.
I got
Everybody have a great
622.
night.
Did anybody get the
148, Jimmy
one?
Canton.
Nope.
1-8, Jimmy and Canton.
138.
This is
I'll go to the roster.
Okay.
This is WRKT 728, David in southwest Paulding County, Dallas 20. Check me in.
There he is.
This is WRVG 415, Atlanta 11, John and Ken. Please check me in and out. This is
That's Houston.
Yes.
39, Atlanta 780, and Austell. Check me in and out, please.
This is WRPT 374, Atlanta 374. Check me in and out, please.
This is WSEW 939, Chat 246. Put me in and out.
Definitely Jim in Canton, but I don't. The TAC number doesn't match anything.
You said Jim or Jimmy?
Jimmy, you said.
Okay.
You want to call him, or you want me to?
Go ahead. No, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll call these.
Yeah.
And then kick it over to you to kick things off. All right. Good round of check-ins there. We had a couple of doubles. One I was able to save and pull him out. The other one I wasn't. So we'll get to that in a minute and see if we can get that missing check-in. For that round, we heard Chattanooga 248. Matt in Old Fort, Tennessee is in and out. Atlanta 785. Rick in Marietta, in and out. Atlanta 830. Arthur from Dawsonville joining us on YouTube tonight. Gainesville 100. Randall in Buford was in and out. Now we'll get to the double that I couldn't catch. Atlanta 622. Marvin, I got your check-in. I did not get if you are in and out or if you are in tonight. You can let us know separately. And then there was Jimmy in Canton is what we think we heard, but I did not get a tactical unit number or an FCC call for you, Jimmy, and didn't get your check-in status. So we'll give you a second, or in a second we'll come back to you and see if we can clear that up. Next we heard Dallas 20. David in Southwest Paulding County. David, are you not still in Columbus? Are you driving back from Columbus? Or you got the day off from Columbus today? We'll have to find that out when we get to him in a little bit. He is in tonight. Atlanta 11. John in Canton is in and out. Atlanta 780. Houston in Austell, in and out. Atlanta 374. Lamar in Dawsonville, in and out. Chattanooga 246. James in Delano, Tennessee, in and out. Those are the check-ins that we heard. Let's take a quick second to go back to Jimmy in Canton. Jimmy, if you're still listening, come back to us with your FCC call and your tactical unit number, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I figured it was. I heard him at the very end when I came off. It was WSFF266, Atlanta 1128. Checking in and checking out. Jimmy and Canton.
Perfect. Thank you, Atlanta 1128. Jimmy, I've got you in and out. Let's go back to Marvin, Atlanta 622. Marvin, just to clear things up, did you want to be in or in and out?
Yeah, sorry about that double. I'll be in and out tonight, guys, but I'll be monitoring. Atlanta 62 WC 898.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for coming back on that. I've got it updated in the log. And that concludes our check-ins. Should we go to the top?
Well, let's just offer a quick reminder that if you didn't get checked in during this round, we will do another round of late check-ins before we close the net. And yeah, with that, let's go ahead and go right to the stop. Julia had made mention of a lot of the milestones and highlights of 2024. She also made mention that we don't really have we haven't had our planning session. We meant to have a meeting, and then the holidays snuck up on us, and we've just gotten busy with family stuff and trips and
work
and work, and so we've not been able to have our typical planning meeting. So right now we're looking at mid-January for that, and so we'll take a look at what we would like to do in 2025 and what we think we can pay for with budgets and so on and so forth. We'll also, one of the advantages of waiting is that'll give us a better idea of our renewal state. So one of the concerns that we have right now is renewals are down. We're in the high 30% area for renewals, which is less than we typically have at the end of a year. So and if that's where we start off 2025, that's just fine. We'll work hard to get the membership levels back up to where we think they need to be. But that may also just mean that we have to adjust our budgets going forward and slow down on some of the projects and maybe even shelve some things. So we'll see where all that stands. And it may be that we're just okay it could be that we don't get all the renewals that we hope to get, but we still pick up new members. And the membership activity the last several months has been phenomenal. So we may get a level of new members that far and away makes up for those that don't join us. One thing I'd like to say about memberships and renewals. Let's break, and I'll come back with that.
I'll let you get the foot switch.
So the one thing I'd like to say is, I don't worry too much when folks choose not to renew, because the fact that they were a member in 2024 or in any year that they were a member, that is direct support for the network. That's direct support for North Georgia GMRS. That's support for the repeater network that we have. It's support for the research that we do. It's support for the outreach that we try to engage in. And that is direct support to North Georgia GMRS. And so for that, I say thanks to the folks that supported the network in 2024. And if you are one who has contributed, but you're just not the right fit for you for 2025, you're just not as engaged as you thought you might be, you had different expectations, or your interests have changed, that's okay. Move on and do whatever it is that you want to do in 2025, and we wish you the best. And just know that if later in 2025 or in 2026 or in 2029, whenever it might be, you're always welcome to come back and re-engage with the network. The door's open. We'd be glad to have you, and probably won't have your TAC number, but
we'll get you a new one.
But we'll get you a new one, and we'd love to have you come back. So don't feel like if you don't renew that we're going to be mad, because we're not. We're appreciative of the support that we did get, and we want you to know that it's okay if you choose not to renew. So, and for those that have renewed, thanks especially for the continued support and for helping us to keep the lights on and to keep the repeaters repeating and to keep the network going. We appreciate that support, and we'll do the best we can to steward those funds responsibly and effectively to make this the most advanced and largest GMRS network in the country. We'll continue to do that, and it's the support from the membership that allows that to happen. We are coming up close to the end of the year. In January, for those that don't renew, we will be purging those tactical unit numbers. If you're on the fence about renewing, you think you might like to, but it's Christmas time and we're broke. I'm broke. If that's the case and you just don't have the funds right now to renew, but you intend to, let us know, and we can hold your TAC number, but we need to see an email. Send that email to Gary at NGGMRS.org and just say, hey, I want to be a part of 2025, but I can't pay right now. I can pay in February. I can pay in March. If you can't pay until April, then we're probably going to drop your TAC number and we'll get you a new one in April. If your old one's still there, that's fine. But if you want to stay a part of it, let us know, and we will do what we can to hold on to your TAC number. But we need that communication. We've had in the past people dismayed, disappointed, and even angry that we've reassigned TAC numbers because of non-renewals. So I don't want that to happen, and I want to make sure that everybody's clear of what we're going to do if you didn't renew. Let's break. And with that, so 2025, we've got high hopes. We've got some things that are coming up. We want to engage in the Dalton Ham Fest. We'll be engaged in the Gwinnett County Tech Fest. We're taking a serious look at the Atlanta Ham Fest. We may be in the Boneyard for the Atlanta Ham Fest. I'm not sure that we would have a booth inside. I really, I like the Boneyard. Those are my people. That's where I need to be. I like to be in the Boneyard. So
you never know what kind of good deals you're going to find.
Well,
I'm all about the deals.
It's cool to walk inside the exhibition hall and see all the commercial vendors, but at the Boneyard, those are the people that I want to be around.
Yeah.
So I I want to show up at some of these ham fests. We'll just have a couple of canopies and a couple of tables, and we'll be out there talking with people and just engaging with the public about North Georgia GMRS and who we are and what we do, and also we hope to see many of our members come and hang out with us and visit for a few minutes and just see that face with that TAC number and that name. So the Atlanta Ham Fest is one that we're hoping to do. Something new coming up in 2025. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to announce this yet. I'm gonna roll the dice. We're gonna go for it right here now. 2025, in October of 2025, will be the first GMRS Fest.
What?
This will be a joint venture with North Georgia GMRS and the Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club, and we will be at a brand new facility for 2025 for a GMRS Hamfest. So we're looking forward. We're excited about that, to partner with the Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club and put on a Hamfest, a GMRS Fest, a combination of, and so we'll have a heavy part of supporting that Hamfest coming up.
That's big
this year. And then of course we'll be at the Stone Mountain Hamfest. We've already paid for our tables and our campsite and our position outside for Vanguard. So we'll be at the Stone Mountain Hamfest. We're also taking a hard look at trying to mobilize for perhaps Summer Field Day. So it's something I've always wanted to do, and just summer's tough because we've got so many things going on. We've got the studio that's still under construction. Anybody out there that is handy with siding? I could use a hand right now. If you've got some scaffolding, that would be really great to be able to borrow some scaffolding to work on siding on the high parts of the building. Oh, and I need a break. So yeah, and I would love to get Studio B to a place where we can start operating out of Studio B this year, and move out of the Vanguard facility. Once we do that, we can make Vanguard more deployable, so it can show up at more events, and that's kind of its purpose anyway. It's really hard to break Vanguard down and set it back up when we do YouTube live streams out of it. So if we can move into the studio environment, that will make Vanguard much more deployable, and I'm excited about that. I think it'll make us busy, but we're always busy anyway, so that'll be okay.
Being busy is better than being bored.
That's right. So with that, I want to go to the roster, and we'll go right here to the top. And let's see, where are we? We are.
You got that guy at the Vortex.
We got the WR873 something. I don't think that's a real person. I think that's a phantom check-in. I don't think we can even count that one.
Corrected somewhere in the live stream, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think it was.
I'll let you guys work on that. Meanwhile, I'm gonna call on
50 is who that was.
Go ahead and fix that in the log. But for now, I'm going to go to Atlanta 403. Bobby, hanging out at the Vortex. Bobby, what milestones mean the most to you in 2024? What are you looking forward to in 2025?
Hey guys, what's going on? Yeah, my biggest milestone in 2024 was last January getting the extra. And, yeah, that was the big one for me. And, yeah, we had a good time this year with North Georgia GMRS, with the Ham Fest and the Jeep Fest especially. Had a blast with that. And, I don't know, hopefully 2025 will be a nice, mellow year, and I think we're all looking forward to January 20th. So I'm not going to say any more on that one, but yeah, that's what I think's going on.
Very good. Yes, there is something happening on January 20. I don't remember what it is, but that'll be a big day. And yeah, we did have some cool stuff happen in 2024, and lots of opportunities for 2025, and yeah, you got your extra. That's so you got the technician, the general twice, and the extra. You're the 4-test, 3-license amateur out there. So unless you count the test for your GMRS license, which is basically the test for GMRS is navigating the FCC websites. You got to get your FRN number on one website.
That's right.
Then you got to go to a different website to apply for your license, and then you got to go to a third website to pay for your license. So if you can figure all of that out,
you forgot about finding the confirmation email in your junk folder or wherever it lands from the FCC with your license number on it.
So if you can accomplish these things, that is the test for GMRS. The idea that there is no test is a bit of a fallacy. But in any case, we're glad that you were able to accomplish not only the GMRS license, but also the amateur extra. I'm telling you, if you can get your GMRS license and figure out the FCC website, the extra is a piece of cake.
What? Did you take the same test I did?
Well, no, I think the tests were randomly.
But yours did have 50
but
questions on it, right?
Yeah, there were 50 questions. Was it 50 questions?
The extra is 50, yes.
50. Yeah, general and tech are 35, extras 50.
There you go. All right. So with that, thanks for that, Bobby. And let's move on to Atlanta 250 Dana in Dahlonega. Dana, looking back at 2024, what milestones mean the most to you? And what do you look forward to in 2025?
Dana shot me a text saying if he's not there, skip over and call back.
Well, gentlemen, first of all, Justin, Jeff, Mike, thanks for what you do. It's very important and a lot of fun at the same time. I don't have any one thing that stands out in 2024. What I do have to offer to the conversation is, let me break, is how excited, the membership should be for what we have right now. I mean, we have, number one, the largest and most advanced network in the country. That's a huge, huge thing. The second thing is we offer, and I'm going to refer to a Facebook post that I put on, we have 6 different nets. And then we have a resource, Hobbit Communications, for buying equipment. And let me tell you, I mean, I have listened to just about every amateur radio club that has their nets. They don't have anything close to us. And it's really, really important that membership realizes that. Let me break. And, to follow that up, I'm even more excited about 2025 coming up. What we have right now is going to grow as far as what we're going to offer, the involvement that we offer our membership to become involved in, and, grow it. Just keep growing it. That's just about all I can say.
Well, that's a great point, Dana. And one of the things that I kind of look back on is, it was maybe 3, maybe 4 years ago. Gary and I had a conversation about, we were doing the Thursday evening net, and at that time it was Julie and I, and it was going well. But I told Gary I'd like to have more net control operators, not just for the Thursday evening nets, but also to be able to kind of expand what we do and what we talk about. And somewhere along the way, we ran into David and Lisa, and the conversations came up about them hosting a net. And boy, they were reluctant. They were intimidated by the idea. They were a little bit frightened at the responsibility, the obligation. But I think today, if you were to ask David or Lisa about hosting the Rabbit Hole Net, it's a highlight of their week. It's a big job. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a huge obligation. But when you close out the net at the end of the evening, man, that you get a sense of accomplishment, and you get a sense of reward from the membership and the way that people respond, the engagement, the kind of content and questions and suggestions and participation from members. And it's the same thing here. The engagement with the membership is something that really drives us to want to do a better job each week and to present a better program as we go, and to try to come up with new ideas, and to try to come up with the changes in format that mean the most to the membership. And Dana, the other point that you made is one of the things that became possible because of the growth of the membership is that we've had a larger pool of people to draw talent from. So because of that, we found people that have capabilities and an interest. See, it's not just the one. You have to have both. You have to have somebody who has the ability to do things, but they also need to have the interest in doing that. And through that, they will find the time to commit to being engaged at the level that is required for something like this. And as you know, having a weekly net requires more than just coming on the air at Friday night at 9 o'clock. There's considerably more to it than that. Let me break. And so there may be many people that have the interest, but they don't have the talent, or they have the time, but they don't have an interest, or, they have the skills to do this kind of work, but they do this kind of work in some other format, and they don't really want to do it again when they come home from work at night. So it requires that right combination, that balance of things, where you have to have the interest in coming here and putting on a program, and then the availability and all of that. And as our membership grows, the pool of people within that field of our members grows, and opportunities to be able to present high quality weekly and monthly nets is there. And if you listen to our nets versus listening to any other radio club's nets, there's a vast difference in the way we do things versus how any of the other radio clubs engage in a net. And I think that the interest is here because the presentation is far more interesting and engaging in most cases. So good stuff, Dana, and some great points that you make. With that, let's continue on. We've got Atlanta 256 Chuck in Dawsonville. He's gonna take his extra. He's ready for dinner. For Dalton.
I don't know if he's ready, but he's telling me that he's started studying, and he's gonna try.
One thing that would be worth considering is, and I know it's too early for the study to really be effective, but if you guys go to the Tech Fest on the 11th and take the test, expecting not to pass, but you can get some of that test anxiety jitters out of the way, and then when you go to Dalton taking the test, you'll have already experienced that process.
Or maybe you'll get lucky and just pass it.
And it'll be relatively fresh, and you might get lucky and pass it. You all might be smarter than you think you are. Yeah, never mind. But Chuck, I'm excited to hear that you're going to join the gang here and step up to the extra and perhaps a free salad.
Well, good evening, boys. Caught me at a good time here. Been doing some stuff around the house, but I've been studying it. I got the book sitting here. Been going through it. Going through hamstudy.org, doing all that stuff, right? And I'm not quite there yet. I got to get into this a little bit more. I don't think I have the jitters like I did for the first two, but definitely get through it. And, I plan on joining you all at Dalton. And I might even bring 256.1 with me, because I have to leave her for a long time.
Right.
But I'm hoping 2025 is a good year. Hope I don't spend any more money on radios and stuff. Hopefully I got it all the way it is. But that's about it. I'll be back at you.
Very good. I think Dalton is a great target. I think that's very cool. And anybody else that's interested in studying, it doesn't necessarily have to be for the extra. If you're interested in studying for an amateur license, whether it be a technician or upgrading to a general or extra, gather a couple of people around that are targeting the same level of testing that you have. I highly recommend the Amateur Test the Easy Way books by Craig Buck.
Yes.
What I like about these books is that these books focus on the correct answers to the tests, to the questions. So many of the study guides will give you all of the answers, and you have to figure out which ones are right and which ones are wrong. The Craig Buck series focuses on the correct answer. Let's learn the correct answer, and let's not bother with the incorrect answers. Let's just make it so that when you see that question, you've learned what the correct answer is, and I think there's a level of efficiency there. All right, so you don't have to spend time researching which answer is correct. You just focus on learning the correct answer for each question, and that's been an effective study tool for me. But the other thing I think is equally effective, and I know I've talked about this, but here's part of the why. When you have a group of people, you can talk about these questions, and you can talk about the things that help you remember the correct answer for a given question. The thing that helps you remember might be the thing that helps one of your study partners also remember. But at the same time, they may have tips and tricks, and this is something that I learned because it wasn't just things that I was able to understand from that, but hearing the perspective from my study partners gave me tools that I could use, mental tricks that I could use to be able to remember correct answers for stuff that I probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So I highly recommend the accountability of having some peers study together, hold each other accountable, break up the material into weekly chunks so that you can all be studying the same material at the same time and be able to talk about and review that material together when you meet, whether it's 2 people or whether it's 6 people like we had. Meet over a meal, meet over coffee, whatever makes the most sense for you, and get it done. This is a great opportunity, and this is the right amount of time to begin studying for the Dalton Ham Fest. So good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I learned out of our group is don't study too far ahead of the game, because then what you started studying for at the beginning, you've lost it before the test.
Yeah.
So there's that fine gray area of just enough study time, but not too much.
That's right. That's right. And there's other great tools to use as well. There's the hamstudy.org that you can download as a free app on your phone, and that's a great tool that when you're solo and you just want to do some review, you can go through that, and that's a great tool to reinforce what you've already learned and keep it in your mind so that if you do get to the place where you finish the book, but you've got a week or 2 left before you actually take the test, just spend some time in that hamstudy.org app each day. Let me break. If you spend some time in that app each day, that'll keep that material in your mind and in your head. Once you pass the test, you don't ever have to take it again.
Unless you're Bobby.
Well, yeah, Bobby had to take his test a couple of times, but
or if you forget to renew.
It's interesting because some people take the test more than once because they didn't pass. Bobby took the test, he passed it, and then he had to take it again because the VE's lost his test.
Oh no!
Yeah, that happened. Yeah,
so Bobby passed the general twice.
That's why we call him Double General.
Double General.
Yeah. So no matter what you do, you're likely to get a nickname if I find out about it. So
don't I know it?
We're gonna have to tell we should have Chuck tell the free salad story.
Well, let me tell you, if I was gonna take my extra in Dalton, I want my free salad. Yes. I think that was hilarious.
So the rest of the story. is when you take your amateur test at the Dalton Hamfest, it's not actually held at the Hamfest grounds. There's a restaurant nearby. It used to be Western Sizzlin'. I can't remember what it's called now.
I still call it Western Sizzlin'.
But it's a buffet style restaurant, and they have a conference room or a room in the back where they kind of section that off, and they hold that for testing for the Hamfest. And it's a buffet restaurant. So I've joked in the past that if you pass the test, if you pass any test while you're taking the test at Dalton, and you buy lunch after you take your test, if you take your certificate that you've passed the test up to the counter, you'll get a free salad with the purchase of a buffet. And Blue Ridge 63, he earned his free salad nickname.
I did. I sure did. I passed my test and strolled up to the counter and told the lady I'd have the buffet and had my certificate to get a free salad at the same time. She looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Oh, yeah. So I highly encourage anyone to take your test there, and definitely when you order lunch, get the free salad with your buffet. So, all right. Very good stuff. Thank you for that, Chuck. With that, let's continue on. Next, we have, it looks like a blank line in line number 23.
That should be checked out.
So we'll zoom right on past that to Atlanta, 849 Pamela in Duluth. Pamela, are you going to study for your amateur radio license for Dalton Hamfest?
Well, gentlemen, after listening to all this that you've been talking about with that, my brain just feels like it has about 12 horns sticking out trying to figure out how I would even possibly do that. One of these days, I'll get there, okay? I do have a book. It's just so many things going on. But first, I want to say and put a great thank you out for excellent presentation today from Kate and Julie with her tips. It was well put together, and I think a lot of people really got a lot out of it. I took notes on how I managed to keep up, and I think they did a great job. And Kate did my announcement for the JR's restaurant presentation just like I would have wanted it done, so thank you so much for that. Let me break. There's a lot of things listening to you that I thought about, and one of the first ones was, of course, for Atlanta 848, he has got the general level now, and he had to take that twice because they told him he passed it, and then came back and said, no, you didn't. You missed it by 1, so he had to go back and take it again. So he didn't get to take it free the second time. He had to pay for it. Let me break. Well, I got to meet a lot of people this year at the lunches. I got to meet 557 Ed and Denise 558, and we've become good friends. I managed to make to 3 lunches and meet some other people there. That was nice, and that's a nice place to go to. I actually went to it when Ernest and I were dating back in the country western days. It's a really good place. It's changed a lot better. Break. Also, it's great that we finally got a ladies' net started. It had been talked about, over a year ago, and it just wasn't the right time. And Jennifer came around, and it was just meant for her. So we're glad that she was able to get that going, and we enjoy doing that. Let me break. Got a few more things, guys. Enjoyed the Hamfest. At the Stone Mountain, met a lot more people, and got a great flashlight out of that deal. Boy, I tell you what, that company called Soltech, if you get to, you need to check that website out. They have some neat flashlights that were really good to use and can come in handy. Let me break. And I've had a chance to help a lot of people with radio checks, especially late at night, early in the morning when nobody's on to help someone out there that's testing out. So I'm glad that I can do that because I would want to know that somebody was listening to me and I'm not just hanging out there in nowhere land and don't know that somebody can hear me or not. So glad I can help those people, and you know who you are. Anyway, then also I was able to organize the Peachtree Corners Brunch Bunch. Let me break. And we had a turnout of about 8 of us, and looking to double that number this weekend for the holiday one. And so that was really good. And, okay, I guess I'll turn it back to you. I'm sure you have lots of questions, and thank you for the time, and it's been a great net. Back to you guys.
Well, very good, Pamela, and I have to second that notion. Kate has done a phenomenal job with the Catch Up with Kate segment. We've really enjoyed the announcements. I don't know, you probably don't even know that the announcements weren't even put together until, I don't know, an hour and a half prior to the net.
If that.
So,
I was on the
Kate
drive
had zero prep time this week to get ready for her segment. Kate has always done a phenomenal job with the announcements, and I really love hearing the way that they're presented by Kate. So that's been fantastic. And Julie, as usual, does a great job with Julie's tips. She got a rough outline and some very, I guess, some rough information, because a lot of the information was incorrect slightly. And then Julie has spent the last several evenings editing and revising Julie's tips for that looking back at 2024 segment. So that one's all hers. Other than me putting an outline together, she wrote that script. I think the only thing that's in that script that I had started off with was maybe the first paragraph, and probably not even all of that. So she completely put that together, and like I said, I threw some facts down there, and then when we did a little bit of research, we found out that, oh, that's not right. So, and that happens. I mean, I know about what we did, but I really need to be able to go back and look at notes and references and find, I had to text CV to find out. We talked, I don't know how many times we talked about leading up to the barbecue last year, that there could only be 300 people. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was the fire marshal limit of how many people could be in that building.
Right.
And
not only on the building, in the property.
Yeah. So I couldn't remember 300. CV had to tell me. He was like, "Don't you remember? We talked about this." Well, yeah, we did.
A bunch.
Every week.
So 300 people. It was in April, and I couldn't even remember when it was. I knew it was in the spring. I just couldn't remember when. But it was a beautiful venue, and we had a wonderful time. And great food, and I just can't thank the Smith family enough for hosting that event, and looking forward to what comes next. There's not been an announcement. I assume that there will be one, but I don't want to say, and then that changes. But I have no reason to think that there won't be. So we'll just we'll wait for the Smith family to organize and make an announcement themselves. Let's break. And we have 6 or 7 lunch gatherings going on now. We've got the breakfast in Stockbridge. We've got lunches all over the place. I know that there are a handful of people that go to more than one of them. I wish that I could, attend some of these lunches once in a while. I've been to 2 or 3. I would like to get to them more often and with some regularity, but I work a full-time gig, and some of these lunches are at lunchtime during the week, and I can't do that. So I just have to, just have to enjoy it vicariously through the rest of you. It's great hearing the stories and hearing about, some of the things that got talked about at some of these luncheons. So when you guys break up from lunch and come on the air and drive home and talk about this and that, those are great conversations to listen to on the air. So good stuff. And even the conversations leading up to lunch, I can't tell you how many times I've heard Pamela reach out to somebody and say, "Hey, we're going to be gathering. Don't forget to come." And whether it's her luncheon in Duluth or whether it's the Roosters luncheon, wherever it might be, wherever Pamela and Ernest are going, they're always trying to bring as many people along as they can. So that's great stuff. Thank you for that, Pamela. With that, let's continue on to Atlanta 1196. Philip in Ackworth. Philip and Carrie, I believe this maybe your first check-in tonight?
Good evening, Net Control. I have a tag number that was reassigned because we added a couple of family members and we got a few more. So Harry got us all numbers in sequence. But that's why y'all probably knew me before as 499.
Ah, okay. All right, 499. That does ring a bell, and yeah. As soon as you said that, I thought, I recognize that number. So Philip and glad to have Carrie along tonight. I've got Carrie listed as in and out. But Philip, what strikes you as significant about 2024, and what do you look forward to in 2025?
Well, guys, there's lots of things that happened this year, but one of the big things that I'm really pleased about is election year is over.
Yes.
All the ads and all the commercials for the election, and that's done with, and the outcome is pretty good too. So I'm happy about that. And then, of course, we had that terrible hurricane that came through here, and it kind of made me realize how important it is to be prepared for situations. Things that I wasn't prepared for before kind of came to light and made me aware that there's some things in my life that I need to be prepared for that I wasn't before. Let me break. And then also I've had a great year with the radios. We started off small, and we're ending it big this year. I'm also studying for my technician's license and hoping to take the test in Dalton.
That's awesome. You know, Philip, one thing that Julie and I did was we studied our technician material together. Julie and I were the accountability partners for our first amateur radio test. And Julie has no technical background whatsoever. Everything that we studied was foreign, just absolutely outside of her area of understanding or knowledge. But nonetheless, she was able to study that material with me, and we went to a local amateur radio club here in Woodstock, and we took the test together, and we passed the test together. And so I will probably never apply for a vanity call because of how cool it is for Julie and I to have sequential call signs. So I am KN4 HYM. She is KN4 HYN. And
it's the other way around because she passed first. Hers ends in Mary, yours ends in Nancy.
See, I can't even keep that straight. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably true.
No, it is true. I'm telling you.
In any case, they are sequential, and so because they're sequential, I don't want to change mine. So I definitely would encourage you and Carrie to maybe study together, and even if she doesn't have an interest in engaging in radio, if she can pass that test, and I believe that she can, because it's really just memorizing the material, and it's not that different from any test you've taken in high school or college. So, and if you can study that stuff together, it's kind of fun to do something and engage in that together. So I would recommend that. Hopefully Carrie will play along. And if Carrie passes and she has a technician's license and she never comes on the air, that's okay. It's $35 for the license. It's good for 10 years. You can renew it. You don't have to retest to renew it. You just pay the fee, and it's renewed. And that's something that she can always own never has to really give up, and the experience of being able to accomplish that. Here's the other cool thing is once she has a license, 4 or 5 years can go by that she doesn't do anything in radio, or maybe she'll be bitten by the bug and get engaged right away. It doesn't make any difference. The test teaches you a handful of things, but the most important thing in any radio license, whether it's GMRS or a technician's license or any of that, the most important thing that you need to know is how to push the PTT, because if you can't master that skill, nothing else matters. You can listen. You don't need a license to listen. You can listen to anything, anywhere, anytime without a license. But if you've got that and you learn how to do PTT, then that's the big part of it. Everything else is easy after that. Let me break. So, Philip, I would definitely encourage you to have that conversation with Carrie. Hopefully she's listening now, and hopefully she'll be inspired. And I would love to hear of the two of you passing your technician test together. If you can't get Carrie to play along, make mention on Facebook that you're studying. And there's lots of folks in the Ackworth, Woodstock area, and you may very well be able to find a group of people that you can study with and have that accountability. This is the perfect amount of time to get started, to acquire your study materials, and to be prepared for Dalton. And, there's nothing wrong with taking a stab at it at the Tech Fest. It's $14 there. It's $1 cheaper. So I would encourage everyone to even just try it at the Tech Fest. You might be surprised, and you might just pass at the Tech Fest. All right, who do we have next in our roster? It looks like we're all the way down here to CW3, Jeff in Jefferson. Jeff, do you have any significant events of 2024 you'd like to share, and what are you looking forward to in 2025? All right, Jeff may have been in and out, and we didn't catch that. That happens, and it's kind of how we roll. So we're just going to go ahead and show him as in and out now, and continue on.
Just like this next one.
With Chattanooga 184 Colt in Dalton. Colt, we're coming to you next. We're not sure if you were in and out or not, but we're going to call on you and see if you have any comments for 2024 or anything you're looking forward to in 2025.
This is Colt coming to you, Chattanooga 184, coming to you from downtown Dalton. I'm trying to get into moon bounce. I think that's my next little thing going on. Coming to you off of Motorola APX 8000 right now. Just picked up a base station.
Nice.
So I'm going to put in the antenna array, see if we can't get the moon bounce going, and build out a little ham shack. Also licensed medic, so love the GMRS stuff, especially for wilderness rescue. Chattanooga 184, be clear, monitoring, sir.
Very good, the moon bounce. And we're talking a lot about amateur radio tonight, and North Georgia GMRS has always encouraged members to pursue their amateur license. And we often talk about GMRS radio being a gateway habit to other radio hobbies, and that was true for Julie and I. We got engaged in GMRS radio first, and that sparked our interest to dig deeper. Once upon a time, we had deep associations with an amateur radio club, and there was a lot of kind of crossover activities with the amateur radio club and North Georgia GMRS. And one of the things that club did was balloon launches. And we've done a couple of them in concert with the Coweta County Amateur Radio Club. Back then it was the Bill Gramillion Memorial Radio Club. But the members of that club organized a balloon launch, and they added a GMRS Parrot repeater to their helium balloon. So on board that helium balloon was small batteries, a couple of HTs, a device called a parrot repeater, which basically just records a message for 15, 20, 30 seconds, and then it will, when you release your PTT, that radio will engage its PTT and play back what it just heard. So you would call out your call sign, WQYR 514 Atlanta 946, and let off of the key, and if you can hear the repeater, it would come back with that same audio. And so that was kind of cool, because when they launched the balloon, I was way up in Rome. My kids were skydiving. So Julie and I were on the grounds at the skydiving park, and we were 60, 70 miles away from the balloon launch. So when they launched the balloon, we couldn't hit it. But about 10 minutes later, we could hit that balloon with our HT walking around the balloon park. What a cool thing that was, to be able to hit that little 5-watt HT in a styrofoam cooler hanging off of a helium balloon. So on board was the two repeaters. There was a 2-meter repeater and the GMRS repeater, and there was also an APRS tracker that worked off of the 2-meter radio. And so they were able to track that balloon. It went to a height of 103,800 feet, which at that time was the 114th highest.
That's up there.
Amateur balloon launch. So the balloon burst, and it came back down, and they were able to recover it the next day. There were studies that were done that predicted, there were models you could run that would predict the trajectory of the flight path of the balloon. Those models were remarkably accurate. And that balloon traveled around 60 miles. Let me break. That balloon traveled around 60 miles, but they were able to recover it 6 miles away from where it was launched.
Wow.
So it went out, and it flew a pattern, and as it was moving through the different levels of the atmosphere, those winds are blowing in different directions. And so cumulatively, although it traveled 60 miles, it traveled out and around and then back, and ended up 6 miles away from where it launched. So,
that's so cool.
It was a very cool thing. The club has also done some pico balloons, which is a little different thing. You put a very lightweight Mylar balloon together. The whole thing weighs 30 or 40 grams. Fill it typically with hydrogen. The balloon will go up to around 35 to 40,000 feet, and then the hope is that it will circumnavigate. There's an amateur radio club here in North Fulton County. The youth of that club, the teenagers in that club, launched a pico balloon that, I don't know if this is their balloon made like 5 circumnavigations.
Wow.
It was in the air for months, and you were able to track it through APRS around the world. When it gets dark, the solar panels no longer produce electricity. The whole thing just goes silent overnight. Sometimes it goes dark and it never comes back. It's just gone forever. But in the morning, you're at your computer and you've got your APRS tracker up, the APRS.phi, and you've got that call sign for that balloon plugged in, and you're waiting for that to come alive. And that's the coolest thing in the morning when you get that first blip that it showed up again. We rarely got more than a couple of days out of a balloon, but that group in North Fulton County, they had, I don't know what level of record that is, but that's remarkable no matter how you look at it, that they'd gotten so many circumnavigations out of that. So if Steve were part of the audience tonight, he could probably come on and tell us more about that event. But the point in all of this, Colt, is that there is so much stuff you can do that you can't do in GMRS. And so pursuing that amateur license opens up the door to a million different things that you can engage in along with the moon bounce. Bouncing signals off of satellites is something that's very cool. Being able to make a contact with the International Space Station, there are ham radio stations on the ISS. And it makes trips over our heads all the time. And in fact, Joe Domilewski, Noonan 25, was able to organize and participate in an event at a school where they made contact with the ISS and spoke with the astronauts, and the kids in the school were able to ask astronauts questions using amateur radio. So very cool stuff. Let me break. So Colt, when we encourage folks to check out an amateur license, it's because we know there are so many interests and so many different things that you can do with that amateur license beyond just making contacts on a repeater like we do here at North Georgia GMRS. I love what we do here. I love the family, the relationship, the associations that we all make. I love that so many people gather in so many different areas. I love that so many people have developed lifelong friendships as a part of North Georgia GMRS. But there's more to radio than what we do here. And I love the fact that people make that available. So I'm excited about your efforts at the Moon Bounce, and I hope that you have great success in that. And then once you've explored that, who knows what's next? But I'm certain there will be something. So good stuff, Colt, and good luck with that adventure. Next, we have Atlanta 707, Tom in Monroe. Tom, do you have any highlights of 2024 you'd like to share? And what are you looking forward to in 2025? It's Tom's bedtime.
That little group right there, that was when we were getting a bunch of doubles, too.
Well, it may have been doubles, but one thing that I've noticed is that when 9 o'clock comes around, we start losing audience members. So bedtime, perhaps, I don't know. Maybe they've just tired of hearing me ramble. But in any case, we're going to show Tom is in and out. We're going to move on to McDonough 22. Tim in Stockbridge. Tim, do you have anything you'd like to share about 2024? What are you looking forward to in 2025?
Good evening, gentlemen, and everyone on the net. It's looking back over 2024. It's kind of a bittersweet thing for me. Been a lot of new beginnings, and lost my wife back in December of 23 there, and so this whole year has just been kind of a starting a new life, and lots of firsts and new beginnings, and just trying to keep my mind busy and keep my hands busy with things to do. The radio has helped quite a bit. I finally got to go to the Smith family barbecue up there and meet a bunch of you guys, and really enjoyed that. Got to visit my sister and brother-in-law in Florida for a week. I'm planning a trip to Washington State to visit my son and his family in March of next year, so that's what I'm looking forward to as far as next year. And so it's I finally did, just as trying to get something else to do to keep my mind busy, finally went ahead, took my ham test and passed the technician's test, which I thought I would never do. I haven't done a whole lot with it yet, but I am involved in the Henry County Amateur Radio Society down here locally, and participate in their nets on Monday and Friday night, and sometimes on Saturday, and of course the ham meetings has given me something to do there. But and of course we had the whole election process in 2024, and that kind of kept everybody's mind busy. I know it did me. I've always been kind of a political junkie. But let me break. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm kind of still starting a new life. Everything's still kind of a little bit different for me. But anyway, just a word or two on the NASCAR thing there. I heard your comments, Justin, about Dave Marcus, and just wanted to tell you he was a character all of his own. I think he's got more time in racing than any other driver. I know he drove through at least 5 decades, and he may not have been Dale Earnhardt, but him and Dale Earnhardt were very, very close buddies,
They were hunting and fishing buddies, very close. Dave Marcus did a lot of testing for Richard Childress Racing cars, testing their cars out for them, on a part-time basis and stuff like that. And he was a gearhead, really Class A mechanic, and he had that weird thing that everybody else, wore the special shoes and everything like that. Dave Marcus wore wingtip shoes to race in. I don't know if you knew that or not, but back in the early days, he started that because the shoes they had back then and the cars that they had back then, the floorboards would get so hot they would melt right through the bottoms of their shoes. And I forget one of the drivers' name, but told Dave Marcus, said, "You got any leather-based shoes at home?" He said, "Well, my dress shoes." And so he started wearing his wingtips to race in, and he spent the rest of his career racing in wingtip shoes. So that was a pretty interesting thing, and Dave Marcus was definitely an interesting character. So that was a really cool thing that you got to spend some time with him. He's one of NASCAR's oldest legends there, and didn't win a whole lot of races, but he won a few in his day, and he was a great guy. So anyway, that's it from Stockbridge down here, McDonough 22 household. We'll throw it back to net control.
Very good stuff, Tim. And yes, the relationship between Marcus and Earnhardt was really something. In the time that I spent with Marcus at the Talladega International Speedway, we were there for a test session, and there was a point in time that they had been running a number of laps, and Marcus was dissatisfied with the car, and there were two things that he was unhappy with. One of those was acceleration. The car just didn't seem to have the ability to get on pace like it should. And the other issue was they had gone through all of the tires that they were allowed to use, and he felt like he would like to make one more run on slicks. He had everything he had been scuffed. He didn't have any slicks left. And so two things happened within minutes of that conversation with Marcus and Junior, the crew chief. And there was no choreography about this. There wasn't anybody going around saying, "Hey, can you help us out with this?" or anything like that. It just happened. And one of those things was a crewman from Earnhardt's crew came down with a set of tires and said, "Hey, can you guys scuff these tires for us?" That's exactly what Marcus wanted to be able to do, but they were out of their own tires and weren't going to be able to run any more slicks because they had been on every set of tires they were allowed. And within a few minutes of that, the crew chief from Earnhardt's crew came down with a carburetor and said, "Hey, would you mind bolting this on? And let's see if you can gain a tenth or two out of this carburetor." It was like an answer to a prayer. And it was just remarkable to see those things happen. And Marcus ran laps on those slicks and that carburetor, and they were very different laps than he had been running prior. So I know that the Earnhardt team was timing Marcus on those laps. I know that they were likely timing him before, so they knew the changes that those two things made. It's just a really interesting thing to be able to witness and be a part of. There's a bunch of Dave Marcus stories I could tell from that short time that I spent with him, but in relationship to the Richard Childress Racing Group and your call sign, which I think of every time I hear that call. Every time you come on the air, that bell rings in my mind. But that's pretty cool. So good stuff, Tim, and I'm excited about your trip to Washington State. That's a long way. It's going to take you a minute to get there. Hopefully you're not taking a bicycle, but however you travel, I hope that you have a safe trip and enjoy the western portion of this country, and I look forward to your safe return. So good stuff, Tim. Great talk. And one of these days we're going to have to get down into the rest of some of your NASCAR stories, because I think there's folks here that would love to hear them again.
I would.
Yeah. So let's break. We'll come right back.
Hey, David, Lisa, and Belinda, they're going to go as a trio all together at once.
All right. Good. All right. With that, let's move on to we're gonna do things just a little bit different this time. So we're gonna go to Dallas 20, Dallas 21, and Dallas 23.
The rabbit hole.
Yeah, we'll go all the way down that rabbit hole. I don't know where Seth is, but the Loomis family. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. We're talking about highlights of 2024 and what we're looking forward to in 2025. Maybe something a little lofty. Maybe they have a lofty goal, something to get in the something to get elevated. Well, I don't know. Let's see what David says and the rest of them.
Good evening, guys, and you are exactly right on that.
Funny.
But for starters, since they didn't check in earlier, let's go ahead and get that out of the way before we forget.
This is Dallas 21, WRKT 728. My name is Lisa.
This is WRKT 728, Dallas 23. I'm Belinda.
There we go.
Happy now?
Make sure we're compliant. Now, we're in the second year of the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's one of our milestones. The rabbit hole entered its second year of operation.
Right, and it's been an amazing
we didn't actually.
time. I mean,
well, he was right when he said we were reluctant. We were very reluctant. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
You want us to do what?
You want me to talk on the radio, like be a net controller, really?
And it is.
And it was mostly me, I'll admit.
Well, and like Justin said, it takes a commitment, because there's been, I don't know how many times we've been sitting here thinking, what are we going to talk about on the rabbit hole? And we look at each other with this blank look. We ain't got nothing.
Well, I remember the very first one, which wasn't last year, it was 2022, but I remember the first one. Uncle Mike was our very first check-in.
Right.
And the topic was, because I was wanting to, lead into topics, so I started with why you should do it in the first place. And so that was our first topic, reasons for prepping.
Right. And it's literally snowball from there, And next year we're going to step it up with a lot more content, and also too, we're going to get back to basics,
Yeah. We have to revisit things, sometimes because we have new members. So.
Well, and that's exactly right. We could have the same net. I know this, but we get the same net every, third or fourth month, and the new members would be like, "Oh, I've never heard this before."
Right.
Hang on, let me reset. But 2024 was great for us.
Well, everybody knows we got a new house.
Right. Which that was a task in itself, but having the new house.
A milestone in which I felt like I was carrying stones for the 3 months that it took us to get here.
But having the new house allowed us to have, the parties and get-togethers with the families that we have never been able to do because of the house setting. The old house we had was way too small for that.
Right.
But also, too, 2024 was when Mom's time came in.
Mom's time was born.
Yep.
Let's see.
So, what do you think, Mom, about getting on the air?
I was really nervous at first because I was like, what do I talk about? Nobody's going to be interested in anything I've got to say. And then Lisa sat down with me and we talked, and she told me to write out some stuff that I was thinking about, and believe it or not, I guess I came through okay.
You did.
I'm very excited about Mom's time.
It's actually pretty successful. There's been several people that got their moms involved because of you.
Well, that's wonderful. I also enjoy the once-a-month meeting that we have at Taco Mat, getting to meet a lot of the people, good friends. I love to listen to them talk about the radios and everything that they're interested in. It's really good. And I have enjoyed Mom's time, and I think for 25, I want to make Mom's time a little bit more. I think I can give a little bit more to it. And to enjoy the family. Of course, family's always important to me. Everybody knows that.
Well, you made a lot of people hungry when you started talking about desserts.
Yeah, we're having a get-together Saturday with some of the lady friends.
So yeah, I think one of the bigger highlights as far as 2024 is what happened back in October. Do you remember? Back in October, the Rabbit Hole went live on YouTube for the very first time.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah.
It did. And we
had some really cool guests.
We had David and Wes on there, expressing what they did for the storm efforts. Their first time, going live streamed. So that was a very highlight of, our Rabbit Hole net. Let me reset one more time. But that right there was awesome, and I think there's going to be more of those in the future.
Yeah. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be because I'm very camera shy.
Right.
But I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Atlanta 255 Jennifer for hosting the new Ladies Net, the Little Miss Radio Net. I think it's turned out to be very successful. So way to go, Jen.
Right. And Justin, you're right. There is works for something to be a little bit taller in this area.
Yes.
So, I can buy all the parts I need. I just can't buy time.
True.
So I've been in Columbus for 6 months. I'm home for a week now, but holidays and what have you. So hopefully, unfortunately, it's going to be a winter project. And
yeah, that's one of our goals for 2025. Another goal is continuing to express the importance of prepping.
That's it, because you can never prep enough. So, because you don't know what's around the corner. So, guys,
I think that's all we have.
That's it. Now, appreciate the time. On y'all's Thursday Night Net, talking about the Rabbit Hole.
Thanks for letting me butt in.
And family, and we'll turn it back over to y'all.
Well, fantastic, and I love the fact that the Rabbit Hole has become what it is, because the topics that you cover are not only are they interesting, but they're very important, and this is stuff that people are I think becoming more and more aware of. There's the connotation that prepping, oh, you're a prepper, you're one of those tinfoil hat kind of people. No, you're one of those people who are prepared because things happen. And, the people that are prepared to deal with catastrophe and the unexpected and when stuff goes down are the people who are going to survive and carry their friends and neighbors. And so we've seen that very close at hand with our neighbors in North Carolina. And, man, we're not very far away from that. Last weekend, Julie and I went to Fayetteville to visit with my son at Fort Bragg. Yes, at Fort Bragg. On the way there, we saw just bits and pieces of some of the carnage. And how long? It's been, 6 weeks? 2 months?
Probably 2 months.
And there's still areas where they've not finished cleanup. And that's not even where the worst of it was.
Yeah.
So we're still dealing with people who are not in their homes and probably will not be for a while. We're still dealing with people that have literally lost everything. We're dealing with people that maybe were very well prepared, but their supplies are gone. All of these things are kind of a reality check for the importance of what the Rabbit Hole is. And the Rabbit Hole is about preparedness. And it's not just about guns and food. It's about things like how simple it can be to just preserve a meal. And it doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be engaging in new technology supplies. You don't have to go out and get a freeze dryer. You don't have to do those things. But if you do, here's somebody with some firsthand experience that can coach you through some of those steps. The other thing that I find really cool about the rabbit hole, and why I believe this is such an important element of North Georgia GMRS, is that this is based in real life. All right, this isn't some reality show where people are going on about you just do this, you just do that. But this is real life. And one of the things that I hear David say often, because people are overwhelmed at, if I'm going to start prepping, where do I start? David says you start where you are. All right. If you don't know where to start, the next time you go to the store and you need one, buy two.
Yep.
And if you do that, now you have a stock of whatever that item is, and the next time you go to the store, do that again, and pretty soon you'll have accumulated a bit of an inventory, and that's a place to start. It's not just that; there are other things too, but it doesn't have to be complicated, and that's what David and Lisa do, is they break it down into simple, doable things that anybody can do. Let me break. And they make this preparedness concept achievable for virtually everyone. And if the live stream gig was cool, this facility is available to the Rabbit Hole gang really anytime you guys want to use it. So if your audience base wants you to do more live streams, I want you to do more live streams. And, it's a commitment, because I know it's a bit of a drive for you. But if you're going to show up here, I'll cook dinner. And we'll enjoy a Rabbit Hole production just as often as you're willing to make that drive. I know it's difficult right now. One thing we should be thankful for is that the Columbus gig didn't happen during or before the move. Fortunately, it got moved before Columbus happened. So we can sure be thankful for that. What do you think?
No, 100%.
I have to interject on that. I think I would have been recruiting some North Georgia GMRS members. Help me!
Yeah, we're not responsible for timing. There's a bigger power at play there, and
yes.
I'm glad that
I'm very grateful.
It worked out the way it did.
Yes.
And I've got the week off, so I can actually play radio for a little while. Because even though Columbus is my job site is, I can see the Columbus Tower, literally. But we have radios on the job site. I can't monitor both, so
yeah, it's difficult.
Kind of difficult to do that, But I was like, man, I can see the tower. I just can't get on the net because we have work radios going. But yeah, that would have been very unfortunate for timing. But hey, it's coming to an end. We'll be finished up sometime in mid-January, and then I'm hopefully getting some time off.
Much deserved. Much deserved.
Well, very good stuff, and I'm looking forward to getting a call and sneaking over to Dallas and maybe helping out on a project here or there. And just don't tell anybody. No one can know. It has to be very, very hush hush. But in any case, oh wait, did I just say that over the air?
You were PTT'd.
Oh yeah, sorry. That never happened. We never had this conversation. But in any case, thanks for the rabbit hole. Thanks you guys for the contribution that you make and the sacrifice that you make for presenting world-class content on the North Georgia GMRS Network. That's fantastic stuff. I think it's a shining jewel of the offerings that we have for the members of North Georgia GMRS.
It is. They do a great job.
Yeah, they do. So, all right. With that, let's continue on. We've got one more in for tonight. We've got McDonough 61 Blake in Locust. Oh, how is he in? He's a YouTube check-in.
Well, Blake was one. I was waiting to hear back from him. He checked in on YouTube and said that he wanted to be on RF, but he was late to the check-in. I sent him a note back to see if he wanted to participate, and I haven't heard back from him. So this is kind of we're going to call on him and see if he's there.
Fantastic.
And if he wants to join, great. And if not, that's okay too. So McDonough 61, Blake, if you are listening and if you'd like to come back, the floor is yours. We might not have a Blake.
All right, go ahead and acknowledge your YouTube check-ins, and then call for any additional check-ins.
Okay. All right. Well, we gave it a try. Blake, if you're listening or if you're watching on YouTube later, we're going to show you his in and out. Thanks for checking in, though, tonight, nonetheless. I do want to acknowledge a handful of YouTube check-ins that we had and get through those. So WSFR246, Brandon from Royston, Georgia, is a guest watching on YouTube tonight. Our friend Gainesville58, Jonathan in Oakwood, is listening in on YouTube tonight. Alabama 29, Jerry from Aplica? I don't know. I don't know if I got that right. Like you said earlier, it's hard to...
Is it Opelika?
It's hard to see with the strike-through through it.
Yeah.
Jerry was in and out. Or he's monitoring on YouTube. Then we had Scott from upstate New York, WPYW627. Next we heard WSAL 368. Oh, that's Rogers. So Atlanta 263. Rogers in Dunwood. He was checking out YouTube tonight.
Oh, hey, since we've got Rogers, Rogers, if you would send me an email at justin@NGGMRS.org. Want to make contact with you.
All right, there we go. And then just two more. WSBS 374. That's Mark in Adairsville, joining on YouTube tonight. He writes that he got his tech license at Dalton last year, his general a couple of months later, and then he did an emergency radio course. I'm not sure if that's Aries or something else, and says he's going to be joining North Georgia GMRS after the new year.
Fantastic.
So maybe we'll see him at Dalton. Mark, thanks for checking in tonight.
Did he get the free salad?
He didn't say.
Okay.
He didn't say. Mark, you'll have to let us know if you claimed your salad. And then last but not least, WRYH989. That's Bob from Salem, Massachusetts. Might be one of our more distant check-ins for tonight anyway. Also listening in on YouTube. That brings us to the end of the roster. And, he says he did not get his salad.
You missed out.
You missed out.
Oh, yeah. Well, he can get it this year.
Yeah, that's a reason to go back, get your extra.
Take your little 605 form.
Yep.
And just show it to him when you order your buffet, and you'll get a free salad.
Don't listen to them. They will have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, good stuff. Should we take a round of late check-ins?
I think we should.
All right, well, let's do that. Let's take one last round of late check-ins for anyone that didn't get to jump in earlier. And then any comments or questions that you might have. Net Control standing by.
This is Chat 246. I was just wanting to chime in and say I'm looking forward to the GMRS Fest we're having.
This is WRCT 399 Atlanta 261. Check me in and check me out. Thank you, Net Control.
This is WRPM 847 Chattanooga 162. Check me in and out, please. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hope you're not dyslexic. I couldn't get If you give me a second to find it, I can do it. Yeah. Yeah. Running Justin's computer with all his windows tonight. I gotta find where he's got his stuff. Yep. Yep. All right, I think that'll do it, right?
Yeah, let's go ahead and call this.
All right. We had a comment from Chattanooga 246 James, just talking about how he's looking forward to the GMRS Fest up in the Chattanooga area next year. More details on that to come, right?
Yeah.
As they get developed.
Well, we know it's going to be, I believe it's October 3rd and 4th, be a Friday and a Saturday.
Okay.
But I don't know what admission's going to be. I don't know. We're going to be looking for volunteers from North Georgia GMRS members to fill various roles and to help out in various ways. So keep those dates in mind. Yeah, there's lots of details, lots of information yet to come. But
Stay tuned to the Facebook page.
Pencil those dates in so that you can be available to volunteer.
Yep. More details will be on the Facebook page in due time. Oh.
Is that? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Whoops.
All right.
He's been talking that whole time.
So yeah, apparently I got muted. I'm not sure how that happened, but in any case, as I was saying, there'll be some volunteer opportunities as we develop more and more of the program for the GMRS Fest in concert with the Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club for the Hamfest. So opportunities for members to volunteer. It'll be October 3rd and 4th. I don't have a lot of details yet. And it may be that I'm not even supposed to announce this, but it's too late now.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Toothpaste is out of the tube.
That's right. I guess I could get demoted again, but we'll have to see how that plays. I might end up in Jeff's chair if this goes any further.
Or outside.
Or outside.
Or outside.
That's happened before, too.
All right. And then I'll go ahead and acknowledge the last two check-ins that we had. Atlanta 261, Scott in Holly Springs was in and out. And Chattanooga 162, Larry in Chattanooga was also in and out. And that brings us to the end of our roster. Let me find my script here. All right, this concludes the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. We had a total of 84.
I challenge that number.
Do you?
Yeah. Did we have a blank line or two in that?
Oh, I think we did have one. Or did we? No, there's one.
All right.
84
is our number, but it's subject to audit.
We'll go with 83. 83 chickens, including myself. Net Control will now be returning the repeaters to normal use. Everyone who signed in should... Oh, I got a break.
How did that go? North Georgia GMRS will be what?
Well, I don't know. Jeff
returning
the repeaters to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget to like and subscribe for those of you watching on the YouTube channel. And remember, comments show engagement with the video and help the channel grow. Reminder, there will not be a Thursday night net next week. We hope all of our members are able to relax and enjoy the holiday with friends and family. Don't forget to check out hobbitcommunications.com for Christmas gifts for your friends and family. And also...
Leave a radio and a cookie out for Santa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A nice Kenwood NX 1700 for Santa?
1800.
1800. Ah.
Well, he might need one for the sleigh, too.
Well, the 1800 would be for the sleigh. The portable would be what he'd keep on his belt.
Well, okay, so yeah, just get two radios.
Yeah, just a portable and a mobile. Yeah. There you go. That'll take care of it. And also, one last, don't forget here in my notes about memberships and your renewals before the end of the year. Thank you for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is WRWM 344 Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
This is Atlanta 946 WQIR 514. My name is Justin.
And Atlanta 750, WRMR 367. My name is Jeff.
Doesn't Mike do a great job?
Mike does an excellent job.
I think we should leave him in that chair.
He sits much stiller than you too, so the camera stays nice and centered on him.
Yeah.
And with that, we are clear. Good night, everyone.
Good night, folks.
Thank you.